Welcome. My name is Liz Caruana and I'm an Eden Energy Medicine Advanced Practitioner in Sydney, Australia. I also teach the Level 1 Fundamentals in Sydney and also in Mapleton on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. I'm here with you today and I'm also self-isolating in Sydney because my husband is at high risk. So we're locked down with everyone else. And today at Eden Method, we would like to share with you some simple, empowering, easy to learn tools and techniques that can help bring you and your energies into flow, balance, and harmony. And they have helped. The technique that I'm going to share with you today is called the Neurovascular Reflex points. Now they have a very long name, but I promise you they are really simple and easy to learn and easy to apply to your daily life. And they have helped many, many people, and especially myself. These are my go-to technique whenever I'm facing stress or fear especially. So the neurovascular reflex points are a gift, and within this work we find them nature conveniently located them very easily for us to work with. So you might have been watching Maddie King, and Maddie talked about the fight, flight, freeze response. And I just want to spend a moment going over this and why this is relevant to working with the neurovascular reflex points. So in the fight, flight, freeze response, in a nutshell, and this is a very high-level nutshell, the first thing that happens is that the back brain, the primitive brain, takes over and it orchestrates a cocktail of stress hormones to flood through your body. And it is the same stress hormone cocktail that allows a mother to lift a really heavy object off a child if her child is in danger. The second thing it does is that it redirects the blood flow to our arms and legs so we can stay and fight or we can run away, and to our lungs so that we can help ourselves breathe in that moment. And the third thing that it does, and it's related to the redirection of the blood flow, is that we lose, depending on how severe the stress is, we lose up to 80% of the blood flow from our front brain, our advanced thinking part of the brain. So under stress, we don't often make really good decisions. So how this relates to the neurovascular reflex points. So these points are used in the moment. The first way that we can use them is in the moment. And I'm sure that many of you have already been using these points unknowingly. They are affectionately known as the oh my God points. And how many times have you seen someone in this position? Oh my God, or oh my God, or some variation of this position. And this is exactly where our main neurovasculars are located. So right in alignment with our pupils, you come up over your eyebrows in the middle of your forehead. You may find an indent on a bump there. If you don't have those bumps, I promise you they are there. And in the moment, you simply hold this lightly with a very, very light touch. I like to call it the butterfly touch. And you simply hold these points while you're in the stress for 3 to 5 minutes and even up to 20 minutes. But in the moment, that's all you need to do. It's very, very simple. So what does this do, holding these points? The first thing it does is remember when I told you about the blood flow being redirected? These points help with the circulation of blood in the body. And our hands are electromagnetic. And when we place our hands in this position lightly over our forehead while we're in stress, we bring blood, cerebrospinal fluid, and oxygen back up to our forebrain, which helps us to think better. So we start that process. It also talks to the back brain, that primitive brain who's ordering up that cocktail, and we say, not today, thank you very much. Don't order me that stress cocktail today. And the third thing that it does is it helps calm the nervous system. So with this simple technique, you are being able to think more clearly, make better decisions, look at the situation differently. You're talking to the back brain and saying, hey, I don't really need that cocktail of stress hormones, and you're calming your body down. So that's the first way in the moment. I'm going to share another 2 ways that you can use these simple points. The next one is when we're really aware of the emotion that we're in. And for most people, it can be fear at the moment, anxiety. So we have 5 basic emotions that we feel as humans, and it's fear, anger, panic, grief, and worry. And we have 5 special points or pairs of points on our face and head that can help us process this emotional stress. So we still use the main neurovasculars. So if we find ourselves in a state of fear, we can come to our eyes and trace straight back to the middle of our head, place one hand over the fear points, the other hand over the main neurovasculars, and hold this for 3 to 5 minutes while we're in the state and emotion of fear. Let's take a deep breath into that. And that's all there is. What a gift this is to parents. When your child wakes up in the middle of the night, you can simply hold this position and you can help calm them down when they're in a state of fear. Or if you're actually at home with all your kids now homeschooling and their routine has changed, so they might not be understanding what's going on in the world. Again, you can hold these points. This modality has so many gifts, and this is just one tiny gift that you can unwrap and give to your child or to your loved one at this time. The next one, if you find yourself in a state of anger, you come to the side of the eyes and you drop back about 1/2 inch, and there's a little hollow there. But we need to hold the main neurovasculars as well. So you can simply lay your hands over these points and the main neurovascular points whenever you find yourself in the stress state of emotion of anger. And it also covers annoyance or frustration. And you can hold these points again 3 to 5 minutes while you're in that state. The next, if you find yourself in the state of panic, you can come to the top of your eyebrows, trace back, and that's this emotional point for panic. You'll notice that the one for fear was just behind the eyes. So you can get both points by simply placing one hand behind the head, again, the other hand on the forehead, and you will be doing a wonderful thing for your energies right now and for your body. We often, when we're in panic, loop between fear, panic, fear, panic, anxiety, fear, panic, anxiety. So by holding these points together, it is doing a wonderful thing to bring the blood flow back up so you can think more clearly. It's also calming the nervous system, but this is creating a great polarity between the front brain and the back brain and helping with that reprogramming of that stress response. Let's take a breath into that, because I need it. If you find yourself in a state of worry, you come to the points directly in line with the pupil, down on your cheeks. And again, you can use the heel of your hand and place it over that. You can drop your thumbs into the temples, which is another wonderful point to help our triple warmer. And breathe again while you're in the moment. These are all for when you're in the moment. 3 to 5 minutes and up to 20 minutes, or until you feel yourself, that emotion dissipate, you start to calm down. And if you feel yourself in a state of grief, now grief is not just about the loss of a loved one. It can be grief for our world at this time, or it can be grief for our loss of freedom at this time. So you come to these points right above the top of your ear, go straight up to the top of the head on the baby soft spot, place one hand over the head, the other on the main neurovascular points while you're in the state of grief. Let's take a breath into that. So now you have a very simple technique that you can use in the moment, and just 3 to 5 minutes is going to help you to calm down, process that, and really start to think clearly. But there is more, because some of you can't stop in the moment. You might be a health worker, and we thank you at this time. We really appreciate everything that you're doing and the many wonderful people out there. And so if you can't do this in the moment, or if you're a parent or anyone who can't stop, I actually really hope that one day we can walk around like this and everyone will go, she's just calming herself down. She's working those points. But right now, it may not be possible to do that. And I've had a few strange looks in my time. So if you don't have time in the moment to stop, you can still process that emotion or those emotions that are coming up for you. I like to do this at night if I've been in that situation, although I will, if I'm out, I will take myself off to the bathroom and sit down and do points in the bathroom. I have a whole series of energy medicine things that I do in the loo, as we call it in Australia. So sometimes my colleagues were wondering where I was, but I was actually doing lots of energy medicine techniques in the loo. So at night, if you are finding that you couldn't stop during your day, before you go to sleep, I like to go through my day and think about what happened. And I give gratitude for all the wonderful conversations, the wonderful interactions, the funny times. But if I get to a point and I remember in my day where a strong emotion, stress emotion came up for me, I will then go to the position for that. So if it was fear or anxiety because I heard something or saw something, I will go and process that. Now, the difference between this technique and the two that I showed you in the moment is you need to recall that memory. You need to go into the emotion so that you can clear it. So while you're doing that memory of what happened going through your day, really bring it up and focus on it. Bring it to mind. Bring either the conversation, the event, bring it to mind so that you have it in your body while you are holding these points. And you keep bringing it to mind and bringing it to mind, or you might find a phrase that represents that and repeat it over and over again. And what you will find often is that you can't remember what you were thinking about, and that's a sign to move on, that you processed that. So you can go through your day that way, stopping and reprogramming. It's great to do before you go to sleep because it helps clear the mind. It's also great to do if you wake up in the middle of the night and that mind chatter is going on. even if you just hold one hand here, you can't remember what the other points were, you're going to do a lot to help with that mind chatter and help get you off to sleep. Many people find that that's helpful for them. There's one more piece that I like to do with this technique, and this has been a lifesaver for me personally. I would not be here today as an Eden Method teacher without this technique. And I'm getting a little bit teary because it means so much to me. There is no way I would have ever imagined that I could be a teacher or stand up in a group of people. I was the person in my first class at the back of the room. I didn't want to volunteer. I don't like to be seen. So for me, when Dondi asked me if I would do this, I said yes, but it's going to be a stretch for me. So what I have been doing since I found out, I have been working my neurovascular points, and that's the reason why I chose these, because for me, they have been extremely powerful in moving forward in my life through fears that have stopped me doing my passion, which is sharing this amazing modality. So the technique that I add to this is you go into the thing that is fearful. So for me, for example, this week when I found out, it was, what if I forget my words? What if I'm terrible? What if they don't like me? What if my technology fails? What if? So I was holding my fear, anxiety points all the last few days, every time it came up for me. And I'd repeat a phrase, or I would just go, and anytime I felt those nerves, those butterflies, I would go to my neurovascular points for fear and anxiety and panic. Because for me, this is a real thing. This really panics me. This is my very first Facebook Live. And so it was, for me, a really big thing. So holding these points while you're in this state, repeating something that makes you scared. And so this was a future event. So you can use this whether you're in the moment, whether it was something from the past that you can't, you just keep thinking about it and it's stressful, or with me, it's something that you have to do in the future that stresses you out. So by holding these points until that fear dissipates, and then this is the magic, I put in and program in what it is I want to feel in this Facebook Live. So I would lie there and say, I want to remember everything I want to say. I want to be authentic. I want to remember to smile. I want to connect with them. I want to really give a message that is so clear that they'll really start using these points and really feel the benefit of them. So that's how I actually literally used these points this week to get on live and to be able to communicate, because I love this work. There are so many life-giving moments when you do energy work. It is incredibly empowering for people. You watch people go through any of the classes and you see the look on their face when they have that aha moment. And that is so humbling, because it is simple. These tools are simple and easy to learn. And one of the things when I was researching this topic for my class last year was that in Donna's book, many of you will have Donna's book, Energy Medicine. And within that, there's a line there that Donna says, this technique, the neurovascular reflex points, is one of the most powerful tools that she gives in the book. So that book has a lot of tools and techniques. So please don't discount that it's so simple. Sometimes it's the simple things that make the most change for you and benefit. So I hope I have remembered to tell you everything. Just before we finish, if you're interested in learning more about energy medicine, there is a free class available that you can register for on freeclass.edenmethod.com. And I thank you for being here with me, and I wish you a blessed day, and try those techniques for yourself. Thank you very much.